Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is June 10th, 2024, and we now have official dates for the Barca Atletic final that will determine whether Rafa Marquez's men will get promoted to second division. Also, Hansi Flick is officially in Barcelona, ready to work, and I'm gonna tell you all of the German coach's plans. And finally, Hansi Flick is interested in Angelo Stiller. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and before we begin with the news, just a quick reminder to make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. All of this helps this channel continue to grow. Also, if you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the gift bag, and if you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure you head to Bet Us. Both links for gift bag and Bet Us are down below in the description. Now, begin with the news that Barca Atletic now know not just their opponent, but when they will face off against this opponent in that final to determine who will get promoted from third to second division. As I reported in a previous video, Barca Atletic won both legs of the semi-final against Ibiza. The first match was played away where Barca Atletic won 1-2. The second match they won 5-3, so it was on aggregate 7-4, and with that, Barca Atletic qualified to the final of this playoff matches that will determine who will get promoted to second division. And now Barca Atletic officially know their opponent, which will be Cordoba, and we also know the dates of the two legs of the final, where the first leg will be played on June 16th at home at the Johan Cruyff Stadium, with the second leg being played exactly 7 days later on June 23rd. And I will be watching both matches, and don't worry, I will be reporting about both matches, and hopefully I'll be reporting great news, and hopefully I'll be telling you that Barca Atletic have gotten promoted from third to second division. Now there is good news here, because Mika Faye, who missed both legs of the semi-final because he had reported to international duty with Senegal, will be back and will participate in the final. So that's a huge boost to Rafa Marquez's men, who will recover their best defender on the squad. So I'm very excited for these matches, which, by the way, even if Barca Atletic don't get promoted, I think we should all be proud of the work that they have done. They have had an incredible season, but hopefully they can put the cherry on top and get promoted to second division. Now, more news, because Hansi Flick is officially in the city of Barcelona, ready to get to work. And I'm going to tell you exactly what the German coach's plans are. Now, as I reported in a previous video, Hansi Flick had, arrived in Barcelona in order to sign his contract, but right after he went back home because everybody at the club was on vacation. Plus, Hansi Flick still needs to figure out, his personal issues or personal matters. He has to move his family to Barcelona. He has to, find a new home. He has to figure out what he's going to do with his home back in Germany, etc. And also, Deco was also on vacation in Brazil. But now both Flick and Deco are back in the city of Barcelona, where it's reported that both of them have cut their vacation early because they want to get down to work, because there are too many pending issues. And Hansi Flick could not wait any longer, and neither could Deco, so they both have cut their vacation short. They have now arrived in the city of Barcelona, ready to roll up their sleeves and get to work. Now, Flick and Deco are set to meet during this week, where they're going to discuss the squad, or the makeup of the squad. They're going to discuss the current players, the academy players, the players on loan, to see, who could stay, who could leave, who could be offloaded. And of course, they're also going to talk about the possible signings, where Deco is going to lay out on the table all the affordable or realistic options, and he's going to get input back from Hansi Flick. And I say realistic because, of course, Deco's not going to tell Flick, hey, would you like to sign Mbappe or Haaland? course, he would say yes, but that would not be realistic. So Deco will be putting all the realistic options as far as signings on the table, and Hansi Flick is going to be giving him his input. Now, that is not all because, or I should say before we move on, Barcelona will be looking to finalize the Nike deal as soon as possible so they know their financial fair play situation, and therefore allow Hansi Flick and Deco to work with the market, because if they don't know what the financial fair play is, then they're not going to be able to plan any signings. Now, as far as the work that's going to be done, Flick wants to create kind of a three plans, if you want to call it that, or three sheets, where he's going to have a plan A as far as his favorite players that he wants to sign. If that doesn't work out, he wants to create a plan B with more players on there, and then finally a plan C, because he wants to have every scenario worked out. He wants to have control over every single scenario, where if he can't get a certain player for a position, then there's an option B, an option C, etc. And that way he can ensure that he has what he needs in order to build his project. You know, for example, plan A would be for the left wing Nico Williams. If they can't sign Nico Williams, Hansi Flick is going to want a plan B and a plan C, you know, in order to be certain as far as every scenario possible, because he wants to have control over all these decisions. Now, it's reported that Deco and Flick will have the final say as far as the sporting project, as far as who gets signed, who gets transferred, who gets to stay, who gets dropped, etc. And I think that is pretty good news, because if there's one thing I've criticized Joan Laporta before, is that he was meddling too much with the team, and I think it's better if Laporta, as the president, you know, focuses more on running the team, running the club, and let the professionals like Deco and Hansi Flick actually run the project. And now, another thing that Flick wants to do is he wants to completely revolutionize the conditioning of the team. This is something, of course, I've discussed about before, because when Flick spent those 3 months studying the team and produced that report, one thing that he had highlighted was that he believed that Barcelona players were not up to par as far as their conditioning. He thought that was a big weakness of the team. So he definitely wants to completely change how conditioning is done at Barcelona, because he believes that players of a big club such as Barcelona should be at a much better conditioning state that they currently are. He wants to increase the time that players spend in the gym, and it's reported that Flick is set to meet with Julio Toes, the guy who Barcelona have hired to run the conditioning department, if you want to call it that, or to be in charge of the conditioning of the players. So Flick is not only set to meet with Deco to discuss the makeup of the team, Flick is also set to meet with Julio Toes in order to discuss how they're going to change the conditioning of the players, because again, Flick considers this as a big weakness in the team. So Flick will have a lot of work to do. There's going to be a lot of meetings this week. There's going to be a lot of news coming out of Camp Barca. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel, because of course I will be here reporting about it all. Now, speaking of Hansi Flick, it's reported that he would like Barcelona to attempt the signing of Angelo Stiller, or at least consider the signing of Angelo Stiller. Now, Angelo Stiller is a 23-year-old defensive midfielder who came up through the Bayern Munich Academy. In fact, he played under Hansi Flick. It was Hansi Flick who gave Angelo Stiller his debut in the Champions League. Now, he currently is playing at Stuttgart, where he had a pretty incredible season, and it's reported that Hansi Flick would like Barcelona to consider his signing. Now, Stuttgart would prefer to keep Angelo Stiller on their team, but it's reported that if the Bundesliga club receive an offer around 25 million euros, they would be open to selling the player. Now, of course, for now, Stiller is not the priority. Just to clarify this, as I said earlier in this video, Hansi Flick wants a plan A, plan B, plan C, etc. for each position. So now the priorities remain, you know, Joshua Kimmich or maybe Mikel Merino. But in case Barcelona cannot sign either of those players, then Hansi Flick would like the signing of the 23-year-old Angelo Stiller. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. I apologize I wasn't able to do a podcast today. I had a lot of work. I finished work pretty late, but don't worry. I'm here to give you all the Barcelona news now. I'm actually going to be uploading 2 more videos. Yes, you heard that right. 2 more videos, because there's a lot of news today. So there's going to be a total of 3 videos. So make sure you to watch them all so you can be up to date on all the Barcelona news. Anyways, I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. And as always, peace, Barça.